Hey y'all, I'm coming in here in a very vulnerable moment, sitting on the balcony, just taking in the world. And I've gotten some pretty detailed intel that has kind of solidified in my mind after receiving it from several different sources over several months, and all of these bits and pieces over the last couple of months of intelligence that I've gotten have now kind of come complete in this moment. And I want to share that with you because it's only like right now I can only have enough bravery to share it with you all, and I believe it's going to be something that does need to be shared as far as the details of this, and yet I'm really afraid to share it publicly because it does go into like the super weird piece of this ascension process. But we're in this ascension process. We know all the talk is going to, and has been about the grand solar flash and all of this stuff, and we know that there's an event, and we've all worked in our own unique ways to prepare ourselves energetically, intellectually, allowing our minds to expand and be fluid so that we can maybe be prepared to quickly have our mind expanded. I don't know, what this is going to look like. None of us really do. And in our community, we have spent many years and months and daily tune-ins together, piecing all of this together and coming together in community so that we could prepare ourselves and sorry, there's a motorcycle, and eventually get to that moment of impact when and what I mean is not from a place of fear or an event of fear. The moment of impact is when everything goes and the truth comes flowing through. That moment we have been following for months now, and following intensely, like it could be at any moment. And many of us have gotten to the point where like we can't, it's just like we can't focus on following this event because it just focuses really on the fact that the event is not here. So many of us have been working in these last 6, 7, 8 weeks to be fully present, to be in tune with our bodies, to be in tune with how the energies affect our bodies and our emotional wellness, so that we could stay integrated and we could stay balanced, and we could understand that everything is transforming within our physical bodies, our emotional bodies, and our spiritual bodies, because everything is transforming in the planetary collective, in the planetary environment. The whole planet is transforming because her orbit is in a completely different place, and a place that it only comes into every 26,000 years, and we are there. We are witnessing the most massive transformation of physicality, of emotionality and energetics, as well as the consciousness of all of the entire planet. We are witnessing that change. And because that changes so much, there is the point of impact where the physicality of the transformation in consciousness and energetics comes into a physical moment where everything shifts. That shift is the event. When the shift is known by every single consciousness that is on this planet, that is the event that has brought anticipation, that has made us move through anxiety, that has made us move through all of our things, and to purge the densities, to bring us up to a healthy and balanced consciousness connected to a higher intelligence through that clearing and through that purging and being a clear channel. Now, in this point, many of us know that there is an event, it's imminent. Many of us can feel the anticipation of it, And that has been happening for a while. I know in our Ascension Bank calls, we've been talking about just this anticipation, this urgency, and it's been brewing and brewing, and I have now felt it in ways that I have never felt before. Much more of an intensity in the last day and right now. Also at the same time then, because the intensity and the feeling that this moment is very close, and it feels days. Like, it feels like, when I say close, it feels like that close, you know? I know, like, it's hard to put it into a linear time, but it doesn't feel, I don't know, it feels like something is imminent in the next few days. And when I hear those words, there are consciousnesses on this planet that could go into fear with that. I'm coming from the consciousness of this planet that knows what is happening, that knows this process is happening, and we are being, in this moment, in that one universal moment, we are being taken to a higher expression of life, if that's what we tune into, or we are taken into the lower depths of life, wherever the darker world is taking us. Okay, so that's kind of where we've been and what we've been preparing for. Here's the intel that I've just kind of pieced together into a possible scenario, however you want to say it, tomato, that could go down. That is a good possibility. I'm gonna switch hands because my arm's getting tired. It's not as nice of a view. Okay, the possibility, knowing that tonal energy creates energy. Tones, the universe runs on tones and frequencies. So in that moment, we know that the sky opens up, this rapture moment. What this will look like, I'm not sure. Does the veil completely drop? It's hard. Our minds are having a hard time getting around that, but I believe there is something that could be. A veil drops, and we see what is actually in the sky. And you will see the beauty in the sky that resonates most with you. If you resonate with angels, you will see the angels. If you resonate with ETs, with Pleiadians, you will see the Pleiadians in the sky. If you resonate and are inspired and connect with Greek gods and goddesses, that's what you will see. Your mind, your creative mind, will project in the sky that which you have been connecting with, that which you have been experiencing, and that which you have been recently desiring to see and to connect with in physicality. In that moment, every single person will be looking at the sky, because the veil will fall. Every single person will be looking at the sky and seeing before them the most beautiful vision. And in that moment, whether it's the angels, the Elohim, the ETs, the galactics, the Arcturians, everyone that any one of us wants to connect with that are up there at the same time, will ring a specific tone of peace. It's the resonant frequency of peace. And all of the universe will be unified in that moment, including our planet, including every single consciousness on this planet, including every single soul on this planet. In a split moment, will have the unified frequency of peace. Now, we also know in this storyline that there is the dark forces, You know, we can call them globalists. We can call them, we can call them a lot of things. They have many different names, right? The dark forces, the globalists, the 1%, the elite, we know who we're talking about. The ones who have held this entire planet in a cyclical and systemic cycle of really enslavement in all ways, in medicinal enslavement, meaning that we have been taught and manipulated into believing that pharmaceuticals and our health is determined by a man-made technique over nature. We have been very misled with our leadership in the global scale, and greed has taken over politics, has taken over management of corporate America, of our financial systems. We know all of this is very much a truthful statement now. We know this 1% exists. We know that this is no longer a conspiracy theory. Therefore, they have a vested interest in keeping things the way that they are in these darker energies. Doing that, then they have their ways of manipulating this moment, this event. It may come, and you can see headlines that support, major news networks are now saying, oh, well, there's going to be an alien invasion. It's a threat to national security. We're seeing everything that comes out of our government and everything coming out of mainstream media saying there is a threat. And we have never, I can't say never, we haven't yet gotten very much evidence that there has been any threat at all. It's been a deliberate shift in how information is disseminated, knowing how the human mind, programmed and attuned to fear, will bring in the information and from a filter of fear and place it in. And then we have movies. We have been shown that alien movies, alien invasion movies for generations now have been programmed to be afraid of otherworldly things, or we have been programmed to laugh it like it doesn't exist. We know enough now. So if you believe nothing exists other than humans in the world, this event's gonna shock the shit out of you. But I don't think that that's you if you're watching this video. So when this moment comes and everybody is mesmerized in that tonal frequency of peace, there will be some kind of switch flipped that brings on the holographic alien invasion. We know that life is a holographic projection of our mind. Reality is that. We also know that projections and technology can be used to change what we see. And in a holographic reality of an alien invasion, we will see many people who, in that moment of being mesmerized, then all of a sudden see an alien invasion. Even though they don't know it's real, they will see it in their reality. And because they are attuned to being in fear, anxiety, overwhelm, stress, shame, grief, they're consumed, their resonant frequency is consumed in those lower frequencies, those denser frequencies, and those more constrictive frequencies. They will then, their consciousness will tune into the fear-based visual that they see and take them out of that frequency of peace. And in that moment, they will then have to choose how they respond. Will they react in fear and whatever that means for them? Or will they respond, come into start using higher emotional intelligence, breathing through the moment? What do I do? Who do I listen to? Where do I go? Do they go into panic, or do they come into the awakening process quickly and say, I'm going to do this differently? What is happening right now? I'm going to start discerning. And in that moment, the different choice can be made. So, and while that's going on, we will also, I do believe that those of us who see and tune into that mesmerizing moment, we will see that we're gonna be fascinated, because we're gonna see the invasion holographic screen kind of thing going on. We're gonna see it, but we know that it's not the danger. It's nothing. It's just a projection. So it's not reality. And in that moment, we will stay attuned to the beauty that is unfolding in the sky, and we will then direct people around us, because then we will snap into Lightworker mode. Now we know what this moment is. Now we know what we're doing. At this moment, then, it is ours to be in our geographic area, managing people. And what I mean by that is managing the people around us, text messages, which I'll come back to because of the technology thing, any kind of communication we have with anyone else. This is when we just quickly stand in our peace, in our ground, speak our truth. And it's not explaining the whole process. Well, this started back then. This is, here's what's happening. I am going here. And this is where we start directing people. We start pulling them out of the fear. And at that point, I don't know. At that point, it drops off. The details drop off. I don't really know if we're directing them onto a ship, onto anything else now. Like, my mind hasn't expanded into yet. But that's how I see this kind of going down. And it's going to be, I see it and feel it as the most angelic, beautiful, like all of the old historical art that we have seen of a rapture moment, of the Renaissance moments, all of that old school romance, that romantic style art. We will see that. It feels like that, and it feels so crazy to even talk about this, which is why I can't put it out publicly yet. But I have to share this because it was so detailed, and it was so visceral as it was coming in. I had to keep drinking a lot of water because I could tell my mind was expanding with the information as it came in, because my mind was also piecing together other bits of the puzzle that I had gotten a year ago, puzzle meaning like other intelligence that I've gotten from other sources. And all of a sudden, in this moment, a few minutes ago, it started to all kind of filter in of, this is how it's going to go down. And I don't want to create, by going out publicly, I don't want to, create any false hope, because I've never gotten anything like this. So I'm just sharing, just to track it, to observe it. I'm sharing it with you in a private moment. So let's see what happens. And I'm also curious if any of you have any confirmation on this or any feelings towards it as well. So what are you getting on this? That's curious. I'm just curious, as a curious observer of this ascension process, a researcher. I'm and an experiencer of it. I want all the perspective. So please share what you are getting, and see you soon. Bye.